Hi, Miss Sinclair. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, thank you.
All right, so you're the first one here. There should be a prize.
I guess.
All right, let's wait for the others to come. All right.
Yeah,
Bye.
sure. Bye.
Welcome, Miss Hyman. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Mr. Muirhead. Good afternoon.
Good morning, young girl. How are you?
I'm fine. Oh, you look so handsome.
I try. Hi,
You look even
Alicia.
more handsome than in what happened? Them Photoshop you or something? What's happening here?
Hi.
Good afternoon. You know, because I'm coming on the system, I have to try my best.
Nobody gave me the memo. I have to. All right, hold on. I'm going quickly to. Hi, Miss Hyman. Welcome. How are you? Oh, she says good night. I hope your mic is working.
Nice, I'm fine.
Okay, fabulous.
All right. I'm sure the others will be joining us shortly, so just give us a few more minutes.
I told Miss Sinclair that we have to find her a prize. She was the first one here when I came, and then she came on, so we have to give her a prize. Robin is coming on, so I put him on the spot.
Wow, yes. Mr. Clark, Miss Sinclair was the first one on. So we need to give her a prize.
There's a prize in order. I'm a promise her, so we have to do something.
I thank you, Miss Winston.
Is Shamoy a staff member? We have a Shamoy.
Presentation apply online.
Shamoy?
No.
Shamoy was the second person. I'm not sure if she's a staff member.
No, she responded. She said, no, she's a student.
Oh, okay,
So
fabulous.
of our utterances there. That's why I ask.
Oh, you're trying to eliminate the prizes, Mr. Clark?
No, I'm not eliminate the prizes.
No.
I just want to ensure we don't say anything out of turn.
Dean Wilson, I'm advocating for Dean Clark to offer Miss Sinclair, the first one on, a discount on her tuition fee.
Well, I am not saying what the price should be, but she needs to get something.
Small.
No, hold on. The meeting is for students. It says graduate studies, right?
Yes.
So what that mean?
Okay. All right, Mr. Clark, I allow you to take that one.
Yes.
I think he got, I'm not hearing him.
All right, we are actually looking for those who are interested to join our graduate programs.
Oh, I think I'm in the wrong meeting then, but I still would like the prize.
No, you have to stay because it may very well be that you need to join our program. We have the graduate
Oh, really?
we have postgrad diplomas, we have some workforce development aspects of it. And so I'm sure there's something here for you. And seeing that you came on that early and we're advocating for a prize, I think you need to stay and join one of our programs.
Okay, let's see.
All right, that's great. Good afternoon, everyone. So far, or good evening. Thank you for coming on early. We are 3 minutes outside of our start time. And so we're just going to wait a bit while the others come on and for us to get started in our program.
Good afternoon, team.
Good afternoon or good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Is Mr. McCarthy here? Just trying to check to see.
Mr. Clark, check your messages. Check
Will do.
the Zoom messages.
Okay. All right, we'll begin in another 3 or so minutes.
No evaporation.
in St. James and Ucharias in St. Anne. Reporting from the resort town of Negril in Westmoreland, I'm Shamila Pullen for TPG News.
All right, good evening, everybody. Let me just hear something just to ensure that
Good evening.
everyone is okay.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, just to ensure that you're all hearing me. You're all hearing me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good,
Yes,
good,
Mr.
good,
Clark,
good.
we're hearing you.
Yes, I just want to make sure that you are hearing me. I'm not sure if Mr. McCarthy is on. I'm looking in the chat and I'm not seeing him. Not seeing him yet, so.
He will join soon, so perhaps I think you can go ahead and start.
Okay, so Dr. Zari Malcolm Walker, VP of Academic Affairs and Institutional Development, Mrs. Naomi Jacobs, VP of Student Affairs, Dr. Akar Smith, Dean of the Office of Graduate Studies, Mrs. Gwenet Jackson, Associate Dean, Office of Graduate Studies, members of the ECC Executive, other deans and other members of staff, heads of school, ECC staff and the wider community, prospective students, and even visitors. Good evening. My name is Robin Clark, and I have the privilege of moderating the session today that really focuses on be more, earn more, connecting graduate studies to career goals. And I'm just going to share my screen. Just give me 1 sec to share my screen so that you are able to follow this evening's proceedings. And a sincere welcome to all the persons who are new to Excelsior. I hope that you all become students. Are you seeing my screen? Just want to make sure.
Yes, we are.
Yes. And I think I've made a few staff members co-hosts, so I want you to assist me in terms of letting persons into the room, because I hear that some persons are having some challenges, so please let them into the room. So why should you choose Excelsior? Why should you do a graduate program with us? One, we have what is called flexible delivery, especially within a COVID environment. We have stackable credentials, very, very practical experience, and you'll hear from some of our presenters. Flexible admissions in terms of not just having a first degree, but also using your years of experience to join the program. An accelerated format, and interdisciplinary pathways, professional development, because we have a social entrepreneurship component that is somewhat sort of an internship. And there are various international opportunities that we make available to our students. Our principal is not here today, so I'm going to ask our vice principal of academic affairs and institutional advancement to bring us greetings, or to welcome us. Over to you, Dr. Malcolm Walker.
Okay. Oh Lord, I think I should have adjusted my.
Dr. Malcolm?
Okay, I'm here.
Do you want to share screen?
No, because you have the PowerPoint up.
Yes.
So I don't need to share screen, but my background I had up before wasn't, you couldn't see me. So the point of having on the camera is that you can see me. All right, welcome everyone. I want to thank, first of all, the members of the ECC community who have joined this information session and are raring to go in terms of sharing this afternoon. And I want to especially thank our prospective students or visitors, those who are just keen on hearing what it is that ECC has to offer and curious and still considering but haven't made a choice. And let us hope by the end of tonight's session that you will choose to join the ECC family or to rejoin the ECC family in our School of Graduate Studies. All right. Mr. McCarthy is not here, but I know that once he joins, he is going to just let you know or remind those of us, you who may not know, how much of a legacy we are and have here at ECC. As an institution with over 40 years in the Jamaican and international landscape, I think everyone in Jamaica has at least heard of Excelsior Community College. And over the years, we've made so many strides in terms of being the first and largest community colleges and making some of the decisive moves where the advancement of the community college system is concerned. So for several years now, perhaps as the PowerPoint before said, over 4 years, we've actually had postgraduate diplomas that we've been offering at the postgraduate level. And so we recently started last year with our master's degree programs being added to the catalog. So this is just an idea in terms of building on the legacy that Excelsior College has as an institution here. You may know or may not know that we currently have institutional accreditation candidacy with the UCG, and we will be going through that process or the next stage of that process this semester. So what does it mean in terms of just your consideration of a postgraduate program at any institution, but more so at ECC? It means that there has to be an element of focus. It means that there has to be consistency from those who choose to explore a postgraduate program. You, I am sure, are very serious in terms of even considering exploring postgraduate opportunities. And many of you are perhaps at a stage in your professional career where this is about building your capacity and just taking that extra step. And so focus and consistency, I know, is going to be a hallmark of your studies at the postgraduate level. And it is an expectation of our Office of Graduate Studies and those who come into the program. ECC is and takes into consideration very highly academic integrity. And whether that is at the postgraduate level or the undergraduate level, it is something that we are really seeing and putting forward as a value of the institution, and it's an expectation. And this just transcends to the professional environment because it ties to the whole aspect of ethics and professionalism. And as professional master's degrees and postgraduate diplomas, we expect nothing less. And so you're going to hear that there is that element of integrity, professionalism, and ethics that underscores everything that you do in this program. Now, as an institution, we're not left behind in terms of the academic services that you will have at your fingertips. And so even before COVID, we had our learning management system in place that allowed our students to be in online learning. And so the facilitators that you will have will be very versed in facilitating courses online and face-to-face. We have a very advanced learning management system in our Canvas tool. And so those are just some of the resources. We have a very extensive library database, electronic library database. And so you have tools that would have been available to you at any institution globally. Now, with a postgraduate program, mentorship is always key. And one of the things that we've built into our postgraduate offering is this whole idea of very close-knit academic advising. So you will have classes facilitated by lecturers that know that mentorship is a key facet of a postgraduate program. And you will gain mentorship from your senior students who would have been through the program with you before, your lecturers, but also the staff at the college who recognize that for many students still within Jamaica, they are the first ones to go to college in their family. And they may be the first ones to explore a postgraduate diploma. And so it means that you want to be able to get that level of guidance within your program. Now, being that we gear these programs as professional programs, it also means that we seek to encourage you to apply, to do that day-to-day professional, the application of the real day, real life experiences in all of your course deliverables. And so this evening, I just wanted to give you a little snapshot of what characterizes our programs here at ECC in the Office of Graduate Studies. And even as you take that next step to join our family, to know that you have a very supportive unit that is going to be there with you every step of the way, and to just introduce you to some of the expectations of the institution and of the Office of Graduate Studies. So I want to welcome you again and thank you for joining us this evening. And I know that I can expect to see many of you at other meetings because you'll be a part of the family. Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Thank you very much, Dr. Malcolm Walker, for that written welcome. And as you pointed out, graduate studies is about academic integrity and also charting your own course. And at ECC, there's a lot of mentorship in terms of that. At this point in time, I want to call on the Dean of the Office of Graduate Studies, Dr. Akar Smith, to just give an overview of what the office is all about. Dr. Akar Smith?
Thank you. Am I coming over clearly? Is everybody okay with visual and sound?
Yes.
Okay, great. We decided to start off this evening with our statement of purpose. What is our real purpose? And our purpose really stemmed from our students and will continue to be a driving force where our students are concerned. So as Dr. Malcolm Walker indicated in her welcome a while ago, the response to our past graduates is why we are here. The Office of Graduate Studies was not a decision just made amongst ourselves or the management of the institution, but it was our graduates who approached management asking, why is it that we are able to offer such a rich undergraduate experience? What happened to the postgraduate experience? And the School of Business initiated our postgraduate diplomas, and now we are branched off into establishing an Office of Graduate Studies that now houses not just those postgraduate diplomas, but now our master's degrees in a variety of specialized areas. Later in the program, Mrs. Jackson will share with you all about the various programs that we offer here. Right, so the team that makes up the Office of Graduate Studies, myself, the Associate Dean, Mrs. Jackson, and our administrative assistant, Mrs. Selwell. At some time, I'm sure you will meet with us. I'm sure that your decision will be in the affirmative after this intercession, and we so look forward to meeting all of you. Unfortunately, the physical environment is one that is not very accommodating now. Sorry that I have to mention COVID in my discussion, but in mentioning COVID, it's just to remind ourselves that we are so aware of each other's safety, and the protocol is something that we do take seriously at Excelsior, and therefore our online dynamics is very superior, and may I add, to many other tertiary institutions in this country. And we have ODEC, our Online Distance Education Center, whom works with us very intimately, and not even with us, meaning Dean or Associate Dean or the office itself, but with you, the students. So there is no barrier in terms of interacting in our unit. Everybody interacts, everybody discusses things on WhatsApp, through Canvas, through email. And so we have, as Doc had mentioned just a while ago, we have a very intimate relationship. So your relationship with us is not going to be one that is very clinical, but more one that's very supportive and warm, because we want to take you from where you are to a higher level on graduation. So your relationship with us is one that, yes, we want to see you through with your academics, and we want to support you administratively, but overall, it's going to be a very supportive environment. And many of us are very new with the online, and so some of you may be concerned, how are you going to acclimatize to our platform, and how are you going to be able to manage this, especially if you're working? But rest assured, later in the program, we have 2 testimonies from 2 of our current students, and it has been a very enriching experience. Our online system is very, very, very superior. And our relationship will also involve another unit in the institution, our Research and Innovative Division, because you are going to be expected to carry out research. That's going to be a very integral aspect of your development, and your research component, you would not be left out in the ocean. You will have introductory discussions. How are you going to write your proposals? So there's nothing to fear. Everything is a building block system in our unit, and you will not be left behind. As it relates to the assessment criteria, as expected, being a master's student, your assessment is going to be of a much higher order. So where you thought that obtaining probably a 50% at undergrad was an okay grade, now we are expecting a much higher performance from our students, because the quality of your award at the end of your 18 months must stand and be tested against all other institutions. So we ensure that it's top notch. As it relates to your curricula, we abide by UCJ standards and the National Qualification Framework, all systems applied to what we have to offer you. So as it relates to the information sessions, as I said, you will be fully equipped. No student here is going to be left wondering or asking questions. We are here to support you, and the learning tools will be provided for you, and we will continue to have a one-on-one interaction. So I really wish for you, your Miss Fletcher. Oh, thank you very much. Right, so moving forward, we encourage you to really look at us as your yes place, because we really are very supportive. And I really am killing that word, because that is something that we even found out in our research, because creating this office wasn't just on a whim. We went through a process, and our students did indicate that the nurturing environment is one that would make them choose Excelsior for their master's degree. So I welcome you and I thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Akar-Smith. And I like the fact that you mentioned the kind of supportive environment that the students will be operating in, especially in terms of the online teaching and learning with our ODEX Center, and also to that integral as part of their graduate studies is a notion of research, which is in part to solve social problems, and that there is greater demand in terms of academic output. And I can account to that in terms of my own experience when I did my master's degree, that there's a high level of demand and in terms of academic output. So sincere thanks for that, Dr. Akar-Smith. At this point in time, I want to welcome the Associate Dean in the faculty, Mrs. Gwenet Jackson, and she will walk us through the various graduate programs. Mrs. Jackson?
Thank you, Mr. Clark. And good evening to everyone and welcome. And I know that this is the part that you are really anxious to see. What are the programs that we offer in the Office of Graduate Studies? So we have a master's in business administration, and we have the general program, as well as we have specializations. So you can specialize in project management, logistics management, banking and finance, or human and resource management. Or you can do an MSc in financial management. Then there is the MSc in Management Information Systems. So for all of you IT specialists, this course is designed just for you. We then have our postgraduate diplomas, which is project management, logistics management, banking and finance, and HR. If you notice that the specializations in the master programs follow the same trend. What we're saying is that after doing a postgraduate diploma in one of these areas, you can upgrade your postgraduate diploma to a master program. So you will get, you will be able to transfer your credits. Yes, quite exciting to know in this particular area. So we have as Mr. Clark said earlier, it's a laddering effect where you can transfer your credits and you can move from one level to the other. Now, what are our program objectives? We know that our students might be saying, where do we go from here? What is this all about? But our programs are designed to enable local and international students to obtain master's degree in these areas that we spoke of: business administration, computer studies, financial management, and so on. And we also offer postgraduate diplomas because we know that with the current industry and the trend that it is taking, employers want their employees to upgrade themselves with the latest knowledge that exists so that they can assist in moving the organization from one place to the other, or from point A to point B, based on their strategic plans. We also offer master students international partnerships and cultural exchange experiences, where after you've completed your master degree, if you want this international experience to, say, do some internship or work abroad, we offer that also. And social entrepreneurship is a passion of the Office of Graduate Studies, because we say to our students, when you're done with your master's, what are you going to do with it? You need to do something with it. It's not just getting a master and going back to the boardroom and sitting there. So what we have done is to incorporate social entrepreneurship within the program, so students would learn how to use entrepreneurship to solve social problems, to build models that addresses specific social issues within the industry or within our society. Okay, so as I said earlier, our postgraduate diplomas, these are what they look like. And you can actually do short courses within the program itself. So if you are doing, for example, a master's in logistics management or a postgraduate diploma in logistics management, these are some of the courses that you would be required to do. We have, as Dr. Malcolm mentioned, we have practical hands-on experiences for our students. And not because we are online, but you will hear from the testimonials of two of our current students just how exciting the program is and how engaging the lecturers are. And on that note, we try to give you the best lecturers within the different areas of specialization so you can have that great learning experience. And again, for our postgraduate in human resource management, these are some of the courses you'll be doing. Or banking and finance, these are some of the courses that you'll be doing. We have brochures within the Office of Graduate Studies, which will give you additional information on these different programs. Duration. This is something that everybody asks when they call, because at this stage, nobody really wants to go into the classroom and be sitting there for a very long time. So they want to know how long is this program? So we keep the program, the best program. We have a very good product within 18 months, and everything, including your research project, is completed within the 18 months. However, if you are enrolled in a postgraduate diploma, the postgraduate diploma is just 1 year. You will get to interface with the master students. So a number of your classes you'll be having with them. So there will be combined classes so you can share experiences and you can actually get to do networking. How do you matriculate into the program? First, you have to have, we say you have to have a first degree with a minimum GPA of 2.5, or we have what we call mature student entry status. So if you've been working within the industry for say 5 years or more, and you would want to pursue a master program with us, you don't have the first degree, we say, come to us. We're going to interview you, and we're going to do what we call prior learning assessment. You'll be required to do a portfolio and getting different recommendations from your HR of the things that you are involved in within the organization, how long you've been working there, the positions that you have been in, and so on. And that will form, among other things, I'm just giving it in a nutshell now, among other things will be included in your portfolio. We will use this portfolio to assess you and to admit you into the program. So a first degree, an associate degree, professional diplomas and so on. You have that, you come to us, because apart from having the first degree, we are saying we will accept you on what we call mature entry status. All right. And this slide is just about saying the same thing in terms of how do you matriculate in the program. So what we're saying to you is, you look and you say, okay, they're saying a first degree. If you and you don't have a first degree and you turn away, don't turn away. Come, have a discussion with us. Let us talk. Let us see what you've been doing for the number of years, 2 or more years that you're working in this particular area. Do I qualify? How can I be qualified to get into this program? So don't allow the fact that you don't have a first degree to turn you off from coming to us. I think that is no, yeah. Okay. Okay, so the start date. Our program starts in September here. Yes, we have been advertising and promoting, and we have been doing academic advisement for these past couple of months with different applicants. We've been calling and we've been sending out emails, and we are saying, we are ready to start. Our orientation will be next week. And from that, we move into classes for the next week. So those of you who are here tonight, I see 78. It is not too late. Talk to us. You have the WhatsApp number. I'm sure Mr. Clark has it somewhere later down in the presentation. You have the WhatsApp number, WhatsApp us, and we have a quick turnaround time in which we will respond to you. So the fact that we're starting classes in September, it should not deter you. It's not too late. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, thank you so very much, Mrs. Jackson, Associate Dean in the Office of Graduate Studies. And of course, you made mention of the fact that social entrepreneurship is one of the main features of this particular, of our master's programs. And it's all about creating social enterprises or solving social problems. And that is something that is very unique to us as we are a community college and we serve our community. I also like the fact that you mentioned the various international opportunities that are available to our students once they have completed a master's or a postgraduate diploma with us. Before I go over to Mrs. Marvia Wilson, I want to acknowledge the presence of our principal, Mr. Fillmore McCarthy, who I will hand over to present before Mrs. Wilson. Over to you, Mr. McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Good afternoon, all persons here present. Are you hearing me?
We are. Yes, we are.
Okay. It is indeed a pleasure to be able to share with you this evening as part of the orientation session for our graduate studies program. You may ask yourself, why graduate studies? And you may ask yourself, why are we encouraging you to continue your educational journey along this pathway? The fact of the matter is that we have, in fact, conducted research surveys with our students. We have graduated thousands of students over the past 20 or more years in operation at the college. And in having this course with these students, they have identified what are some of the areas that they saw as most beneficial studying at the Excelsior Community College. And one such area is about the nurturing environment that the Excelsior Community College provide to its students. Having a healthy, nurturing environment does make a difference in your ability to learn and acquire new skills. So the Office of Graduate Studies really is looking at offering professional master's program and professional postgraduate programs that are geared towards your development and giving additional skill set that you will need within the marketplace and will make you more marketable. The fact of the matter, how did we arrive here? We having undertake a study to recognize what the demands were. The college is so organized on a philosophical assumption that we really need to meet the needs of our students. And in meeting the needs of our students, we recognize that we must underpin our existence by, first of all, rethink the way we operate. We have to look at how we can reimagine what is it that we do. We have to restructure and reorganize ourselves, hence the creation of the Office of Graduate Studies. And in so doing, we have reset our operation for your success. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure that you have taken time out to share with us. And I want to assure you that whatever we do and whatever we offer here at Excelsior is underpinned with quality assurance as the main hallmark of your success. We want to ensure that once you have completed your degree with us, you will have a degree that is accredited, a degree that have international acceptance. And our strategic plan is based on how we reset our operations for your success. In fact, the college at present is received candidacy for institutional accreditation in March 2019. And we are on the pathway. By September, October this year, we ought to be reviewed by the University Council of Jamaica with an intention of giving the institution institutional accreditation. What does that mean? It means then that all the programs that we offer will be fully accredited. It also means that we must have an internal, robust quality assurance system that will ensure that whatever program we offer, which is our product, is of quality that will facilitate continued improvement and will ensure that our graduates can meet the demands of the industry and the area within which they are trained. But Excelsior did not stop there. We embarked on what we refer to as an ISO certification. That is an international organization standard for operation. It is a quality management system that will enable us to ensure that we deliver quality service to our customers. In fact, we have gone through the first audit and we are up for our second audit, and we expect that before the end of this year, Excelsior will be ISO certified, ensuring that we provide quality educational service. One of the few institutions that will achieve that status. Secondly, we are fortunate to have some of the most qualified staff. And here at Excelsior, we operate as a family. And our goal is your success. And what we're saying to you this afternoon, when you come to us and you to pursue your program, whether it is at the associate level, whether it's at the bachelor's level, and now at the graduate level, we say to you, I try to identify, think, reflect. What is your purpose? Try to find and write down at least 3 reasons why you want to come, why you would want to do a master's program. What is it that I would hope to achieve? What is the experience I want to gain? And then, based on your purpose in life, that which you want to achieve, you need to just write it down. Because guess what? In doing graduate study, it's not an easy task. And there are going to be times when you're successful, and there are going to be times when you may have failed or something. But I listened recently, to a motivational speaker, and he said, which was very impactful, and that's Les Brown, that if you're going to fall, whenever you fall, try to fall on your back, because once you can look up, you can get up. And remember that you may be able to get A's in all your courses, but there may be 1 or 2 courses that you may have a challenge with. But don't give up. Our lecturers, they are qualified, committed, and they're here for your success. You need to be bold, be courageous, and recognize that an education is an investment in yourself. And as part of our effort for internationalization, we want to ensure that all our courses have international acceptance, not just acceptance in our local sphere, but we want to ensure that these programs can be compared and are competitive and is cost effective with any other program that you will be able to pursue elsewhere. Despite the challenges with COVID, and despite issues that other institutions are having, 3 years prior to COVID, the Excelsior Community College management team invested in an online software called Canvas. Most of our lecturers are now expert at this program. And in so doing, they're able to fully integrate, to fully manage, and take you through your program successfully. We are here to help you. We are here to take you from where you are to where you want to go. And also recognizing that graduate studies is about applied research. Graduate studies is about enabling us. You will also play a role in the development of the institution, because the applied research that you will undertake as part of your graduate studies will be based on subject areas that can assist the college to improve its program offering, that can assist the community within which you exist to provide better service, and can assist your own company to do a better job at what they do, so you can grow within the company. So the educational journey that we offer through our graduate studies is one in which, for your own personal development, for the development of your family, for the development of the school, and ultimately for the development of Jamaica. We want to welcome you, and we want to say to you this afternoon, take the bold steps, and you will benefit from it. Here at Excelsior, we say to you, have big dreams, set yourself goals, write them down. And again, each time I have to speak about the Steve Harvey story. Steve Harvey, in a young school, at a young age of school, the teacher asked the youngsters, what is that you want to become? Everybody went up there, I want to become a lawyer, doctor, teacher, fireman, etc. Steve Harvey said to his teacher, I want to be on TV. The teacher thought that he was just being a little smarty and sent him home to his parents. When his father came home and his mother told that the teacher said he was rude, and his father said, what was happening? And he told the father said, okay, wrote down on a piece of paper, what is your purpose? What you see yourself in life, what you want to become, and put that in your drawer. Every morning you get up, you look at it, and you remember what you do tomorrow morning. Go back to school, tell the teacher what she wants to hear. If she wants you to be a doctor, say, yes, I want to be a doctor. But remember, every night you look at what you have written down as to what is it you want to become. Today, any cable station you go on, you can see a Steve Harvey show. That is about having a purpose, writing it down and work towards. And that is what we want to offer you here at Excelsior. Have a vision, have a dream that within the next 18 months, you will have your name, MSc, MA, or something put beside your name, having completed this course. Imagine it from now. When you write your name, write it beside it. Whether it's MSc in project management, whether it's MBA in business administration, whether it's in project management, whether it's an MSc, just write it down tonight. Write it on a piece of paper, write your name and write the MSc at the end of it. And say that within 18 months, this is where I want to be. That's my purpose for being at Excelsior. That's why I'm here this afternoon. And that's the goal. And every day for the next 18 months, you look at it. When the assignments get difficult, look at it. When the teachers and the program is hard and you have challenged to meet the deadlines, look at it. That's your purpose. And as you dream big and you write down those visions, we are here at Excelsior to make those dreams a reality. We give you the wings. We will allow you to soar and we will enable you to achieve your goal. And I can assure you, within the next 18 months, that MSc will no longer be a dream, will no longer be a vision. It will now become your reality. I leave you with that charge, ladies and gentlemen, as we share in this space online. Understand that the future, your future, rests in your hands. You determine what you want to become, where you want to go. And if you don't, somebody else will dictate your future. You don't want that. I want to have an MSc within the next 18 months. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure sharing with you this afternoon. And rest assured, nothing is impossible. You know, Nelson Mandela said it. The impossible becomes possible when it is done. Have a good evening. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Hold on. Thank you very much, Mr. McCarthy, for that very passionate speech. If you, just a word of advice, if you have any questions or comments, we can put them in the chat. My colleagues who are here will address all questions. We're also sharing with you our various WhatsApp numbers, the various communication platforms that you can reach us on. There will be a section where you're able to speak or question and answer session. So we're asking, just allow us to present so that you can absorb the information. You can post your questions in the chat. All persons who are presenting will be available to respond to your queries, comments, or concerns. So again, I must thank Mr. McCarthy for that very passionate speech. You mentioned the fact that Excelsior has already passed its first stage of the ISO certification, and that we are on our pathway to getting institutional accreditation. And the charge is for all persons present, those who want to do a master's degree or postgraduate diploma, to dream big and work towards it. And that Excelsior is an institution that gives you wings to fly towards your reality. I want to hand over at this point in time to the Dean of Enrollment, Mrs. Marvia Wilson, who will just talk a little bit about the online application process. And I might join in terms of this part of the presentation. Mrs. Wilson.
Thank you, Dean Clark, and good evening, everyone. Let me also extend my welcome to all those on the platform, especially our students and prospective students. We here at Excelsior are so excited about being a part of capacity building of individuals and our nation, and we look much further than nation building. We look towards how we will impact the world. So we understand our role in affecting this world in which we live. So we're excited to be a part of your lives. And we thank you for thinking about Excelsior as your school of choice to continue your education. As Dean of Enrollment, our job is to try and make the process as simple as possible for you, so that when you try to engage us to get into the school, it is a 1-2. And it's literally, that is what it is. It is a 1-2. Mrs. Jackson has already told you about the many options of how to get on in terms of even if you don't have a degree. But we have online, and we want to direct you to our online platform. I thank you, Brian, for that comment about some challenges. Interestingly, we have that challenge because there's an open enrollment. So if you wanted to start and something happened and you didn't get to start this in September, you don't have to say, oh my gosh, I have to wait until next September. You don't have to do that because we have an open enrollment. So even if you apply later on, Dean Accard Smith and her team will put you on for January, and you will be a part of the group that has already started. So that's one of the challenges why we had a little itch in our online thing, because there needs to be a date. But we're going to sort that out by tomorrow. I spoke with IT people and that will be sorted. So one of the beautiful things is that we have an open enrollment. If you miss it this time, you don't have to wait until September next year. You can get started in the program for January. So I want to encourage you to go online and apply. And it's a very easy process. The documents are there that you need to take in. And if you have a trouble with online application, you can walk right into the enrollment office, or you call up Miss Jackson at the Office of Graduate Studies, and the process will be, you'll be helped along in the process. So multiple ways of applying, online or just walk in. And remember, it is an open enrollment. You don't have to wait to get started. You don't have to wait an entire year for a program to finish. And that is, for me, what I want you to remember. We really, you've heard of how we have a nurturing environment. We're very, very adaptive to the needs of our clients. So we want you to know that you can come at any point in time and start for the next semester. You don't have to wait for the entire year. Dean Clark?
Yes, I was just about to share the websites. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and just to go onto the actual website so that persons can just look at, just see where our website is. Let me just share my screen again because and let me try find the website. Oh yes, here it is. All right, so if you go on the website, right now we have this as our cover page because we were promoting this particular session, but this is our page. And of course you have the menu bar, and it gives you a sense of, it gives you a lot of information that is there. I see even some of the questions that are being asked in the chat. Some of those questions will be answered as we proceed, but we have our apply now right here. And if it is that you want information about tuition, it is right here. If you click on this particular link, it takes you to the tuition page, and it gives you a lot of information if you want to learn about our social entrepreneurship and even our graduate programs. One of the things that we do, if it is, for example, that you're entering our program and we feel that for a particular concentration, you might need some remedial courses in terms of just being able to properly matriculate into the program, you can do 1 or 2 undergraduate programs in order to matriculate into the master's program. We also, this is our program page that really gives you a broad overview of the various programs that are offered in the Office of Graduate Studies. So I just wanted to give you an introduction to the actual website, and this is our prospectus that is going to provide you with a lot of information in terms of the courses and the weeks and the semester and all of that. And of course, that kind of information is going to be presented as we proceed this evening. So I'm going to go back now to sharing screen in terms of going back to the major presentation, calling on Mrs. Jackson again to speak a little bit about social entrepreneurship. So let me just share my screen. Give me 1 sec. Mrs. Jackson, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Clark, I'm here.
Yes.
So when we were developing the program, we wanted to find a competitive edge. We wanted to find something that differentiates us from the other programs that exist within the industry. We wanted to send our students on a mission after they have completed.
Sorry, Mrs. Jackson, we're not hearing you.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
Yes, so when we were developing the program, we wanted to find what we call a competitive edge. We wanted something that would make us different from the other master programs that exist within the industry. We wanted to empower our students with the required tools to make a contribution to their organization, to their community, and to the wider Jamaican society. We are big on entrepreneurship at Excelsior Community College. Hence, we have the School of Business and Entrepreneurial Studies. We looked into social entrepreneurship and we decided to use it within the program. So once you enter the master program, you have to do a course called social entrepreneurship. Now, what this program does is to help to develop social enterprise skills within our students. It points you into the direction of how you can actually use everything that you have learned in this program to build social entrepreneurship models, to look at the issues and the problems that exist within your community, within your organization, and within the Jamaican society. And how can you use social entrepreneurship, or how can you use entrepreneurship to help to solve these issues? So we got one of the best to impart this knowledge to our students. We got them working in groups where they will partner with their organization. So, because it can be that it's a project within your current organization, or a project within your community, or a project within the Jamaican society at large. So the students will build entrepreneurship models and do a number of things, like developing social enterprise to address specific social issues, or develop a model compatible with an existing social enterprise and partner with that organization to introduce, develop the working processes and execute the model within the organization, or partner with their organization of employment to introduce a social entrepreneurship model or manage an existing one within the organization. We not only look at social entrepreneurship within Jamaica alone, but we look at it within the Caribbean, and we look at it internationally, because we recognize that because we are an online program, the possibility of us having students from all over the world is great. So we have students from Africa, who is Nigeria, who is enrolled in the program. So what the online thing does is that it opens up the doors of Excelsior Community College graduate studies to the world internationally, and within the Caribbean and also locally. So you're going to be networking, and you're going to be rubbing shoulders with persons from different areas of our world, then, to speak. So the social entrepreneurship is divided into two parts. One, where you do the actual theory, and two, where you do a real life project. So it is not an assignment. It is a project which will exist within your organization, within your community, or within Jamaica itself. And you will use the knowledge you have gained from the program to build social entrepreneurship models, or to build models to help to solve crime, to help to alleviate some environmental issues, because it might not be crime, but it might be environmental issues. It might be hunger. It might be the fact that for some areas, there's no water. How can we, as a team, come together to look at a model, to get sponsorship, to get organizations on board that could actually help to develop a solution to the problem? So as we go on, any questions you have? We have an open door policy Yes, a virtual open door policy where you can ask any questions, where we will provide the answers for you. And of course, we want you to be able to see your master degree as a tool that you're going to step through the gates of ECC with, that you're going to say, I'm going to use this to make a difference within my community, within my organization, or within Jamaica at large. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, thank you so very much, Mrs. Jackson, for really giving us an overview of social entrepreneurship and why it was actually included in the program. Part of what you mentioned was the whole notion of networking, of partnerships with organizations to solve problems of the global community, and that the program itself attracts students from all over the world, especially within a virtual environment. At this point in time, I'm going to call on Mr. Dwayne Muirhead, who is the director in the Workforce Development Unit, to speak a little bit about our corporate training and development component in the Office of Graduate Studies. Mr. Muirhead.
Thank you, Dean Clark. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. We have been looking a lot at the graduate programs and doing the different master's program, but there is also another face to the Office of Graduate Studies. So we not only look at those who want to do a master's program, but we look at organizations who want to achieve, who want to move their organization forward, or we look at persons with a master's or a PhD and they want to do some other type of training so that they can be more in tune with what is happening. We know that knowledge changes ever so often, and so we have to get back into the system so that we can retool to be more effective at what we do. And so when we look at Be More, Earn More, connecting graduate studies to career goals and organizational goals. And I look at them separately. I look at the organizational, well, since we've been talking about the master's program, let me look at the career goal. We have the executive education aspect of it, where we have customer training. So you may be at the workplace and you may realize that a particular line staff or a group of staff, they're lacking in particular skills that you need training in. Excelsior Community College can do that. I'm happy when I look in the participant list, I'm seeing a number of our final year students from the upskilling programs on the platform, and they are looking to move on to our master's program. I'm very happy for that. And I saw Lee J. Fletcher, and I know Lee J, I'm calling you out. I know Lee J works in HR. So quite often HR will do their assessment and look at where the skill gaps exist. And so Excelsior Community College can address those needs, and we can come in and offer training to those specific skill gaps so that the organization can be on a more competitive edge, not only on the in the local arena, but in the global arena as well. We also look at some executive short courses, and they are listed on your screen: project management, logistics management, public policy, risk management, information security. And as Mrs. Jackson said earlier, that you can be in the master's program and still do some of these short courses, because everything is intertwined together. And so we are looking at how you can come in and you can leave with the maximum certification or qualification that you can get from entering into one program. We also look at fast track. Let's say you're in the master's program and for some reason or another, you weren't able to pass a course, and you may then face the possibility of not completing on time with the others. And we have been pushing, the principal has been pushing, Mrs. Jackson has been pushing, Dr. Smith has been pushing, that we're not going beyond 18 months. And so you want to get out and get your MSc within the 18 months, but you fail a course. We actually have fast track training where we can take you and have you to do those courses within another semester so that at the end of your 18 months, you would have passed everything you need to pass in order to complete your program. And so we have designed a fit so that nobody is left behind. We have an open policy where anybody who comes, we find a way to get them to where they want to go. And our motto is that we leave nobody behind. When you look at the other end of it now, when you look at the organizational goals, regional organizational goals, we offer some consultancy services. And the three are listed there. When you look at market research, you have been doing the same thing over the years, and you may want to know, how is my profit margin? Is my profit margin going down? How is how am I viewed outside? Do I need to do a research on what is happening on the outside and come in so Excel can come in to help you to look at some of these things that can better fit you for the global economy and for the emerging careers and possibilities that will happen later on. And once you have done the research and you see where the gaps are, we can then offer some consultancy services in organizational leadership and in strategic management, because all of these are going to be geared at moving your organization forward. And so Excelsior Community College, through the corporate training and development arm of the Office of Graduate Studies, will look at moving your organization to accomplishing the goals that you want, and also to look at the individuals to get your short course or whatever course you need to get in order to be more marketable, so that you can continue in a very competitive marketplace. So these are just some of the offerings that come through the corporate training and development arm. And at the end of it, we guarantee that Excelsior Community College will get you where you want to go and to get you to be competitive just as your competitors are even better. Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Muirhead. Thank you so very much for speaking to the other or one of the many faces in the Office of Graduate Studies, executive education and or consultancy services. I will now ask one of the lecturers in the program, Dr. Robert Howe, to just give his insight and his experience in terms of teaching in the program. And he's not just a lecturer, but he's also the college's is Director of Operations and Administration at the college. Dr. Howe, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good night, Mr. Clark. Are you
Yes.
hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Excellent. Let me offer my good night to my colleagues, students, specially invited guests, and very importantly, our prospective students that are on the platform. Let me also add my own welcome and thanks to you all for taking the time out to attend this session. And let me also extend my appreciation to the Office of Graduate Studies for affording me the opportunity to participate in their graduate training program and further to address you this evening. Let me start by saying everyone here, being past students or current students, know very well the important role that a teacher plays in the learning process. Many of you will recall a favorite teacher or two, and some of you may even be able to recall real life experiences where you had some life-changing interaction with a faculty member or faculty members. Conversely, to show you that that is so, some of you may unfortunately also be able to speak to, negative experiences with teachers and how difficult a subject or a course became when the interaction with your lecturer or your teacher, just didn't go well. At our level, that is the higher education level, we substitute the term teacher mostly for lecturer. And tonight I've been asked to give you a lecturer's perspective on this program. However, that to me is something of a misnomer in the topic, because in this program that we offer at Excelsior Community College, we don't see ourselves as lecturers, really. As the name suggests, lecturers lecture, which, as you all well know, somebody stands up in front of you and deliver some information. We see ourselves more as facilitators and guides. That is facilitators of learning and guides in relation to information, because that's one of the great things you're going to get when you enroll in the program. A lot of information, a lot of insight, but you will need somebody to guide you because there's so much information out there. You will do research and you will come across a lot of ideas and concepts, some of which are conflicting, some of which will be confusing. And we see our role as helping you to navigate the sea of information that is out there so that you can zero in on what matters and what is most relevant to you so you can get the best learning experience. A big part of that is because we bring hands-on real world experience into the classroom. Many of us have either been practitioners in the field for some time, or we still are practitioners in the field. So some of us are adjunct lecturers, some of us are working lecturers, but we come here to impart what we have learned in the field, in corporations, doing consultancy, so we can bring a very wide perspective to some of the topics. As a matter of fact, we will offer our own thoughts on many issues, some of which will be very controversial, some of which will be very modern, emerging issues that workplaces and businesses and even organizations, institutions are currently grappling with and will be grappling with in the very, very near future. Because of that, we see the relationship with all students as really a learning partnership. In the education field, we speak to andragogy as opposed to pedagogy. That is adult learning versus learning by the way of children. So it's a process that is put together to teach children. Students, therefore, will be fully involved in their own learning. So it's a partnership between the student and the lecturer, the student and the facilitator and the guide. We guide what you do, we guide your learning, and we direct you, we help you. But you will also play a major role in directing your own learning, in participating in the learning process, and even guiding it, playing a role in developing it, and also helping us to fine-tune how best to teach you and to show you and to encourage you, to guide you. So we expect our students to bring their own perspectives on things and to share them with us as lecturers, because that is how you'll get very rich discussions and the learning experience will be enhanced. So we want to learn from you as much as we want to impart our knowledge to you. So it's a very sharing experience. One of my speakers before talked about the intimacy of the relationship with students. That is brought out in the lecturer, guide, facilitator, and student relationship. The other thing that is important, and the principal speaks very much of the fact that we're offering practical programs. That doesn't mean you don't get theory in it, but what we aim for is a happy marriage between the practical and the theory. By the end of your studies here, you should be able to implement theory in practice. That is our theme for the Office of Graduate Studies, is that by the time you leave, you will be able to impact organizations, impact businesses, impact your own business, if that is what your ambition is. And at the wider level, impact the society, impact the world. So you have to have the tools to do it, and you have to understand how to use those tools. So the lecturers, the guides, the facilitators, whichever term you're most comfortable with, we bring the hands-on knowledge and experience so that by the time you leave, you will understand how to use all of this information, all of the tools, all of the knowledge that you will be afforded. And with all of that, our objective is for you to have a very engaging and rewarding learning experience. We want you to leave here, not just with a certification. We want you to leave here with the experience. We want you to leave here with the happy memories. We want you to leave here saying that this was a time well spent. It was rich, it was rewarding. And that is really the benefit we get more than anything else participating in this program. That's it from me, my perspective. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Robert Howe, for just reminding or mentioning the fact that as lecturers, we're really guides, tour guides, and facilitators in this learning process. Sincere thanks to you for that. At this point in time, I'm going to ask Mr. Riley and Mr. Rose just to speak very briefly about academic advisement and mentorship in the master's and postgraduate programs. Mr. Riley, Mr. Rose, are you there?
Yes, good evening. This is Mr. Riley here. Good evening to you all. I am very happy to be here tonight. I want to expound on the rich nature, and I'm sure you're realizing how rich this program really is. And there are some opportunities that students will be able to capitalize on. Mrs. Jackson spoke of social entrepreneurship, and we spoke about the development of the program. And one thing that we want to emphasize with the development of the program is that the program is not theoretical, as was mentioned, and it's not just practical, as was mentioned, but we found that sweet spot. We found that when we were developing this program, it was quite interesting for us to enrich it with professional certification. And we looked at the landscape of what professionals are utilizing. A lot of persons after completing an MSc or an MBA look to do certification like PMP or IRM, which is risk management and project management certification. So we sought to actually incorporate some of those. What we would do as your academic advisors is to guide you as to how you can capitalize on some of those opportunities. For example, you may do in your very first semester global business environment. It is actually in line with professional qualification from the Forum of International Trade Training, which is one of Canada's most trusted professional certification authority. And they dedicate themselves with providing international business training programs. And you can actually get that certification if you choose to. We also align ourselves with, for example, ACCA. We can show you how to unlock the opportunities from your BSc that you come into the program with, and then capitalize by doing the programs within your finance, if it is finance you're doing, or within the MBA that you're doing, and to see how you can actually leave with that certification as well. So those are some of the things that you're going to interact with us about. I will be able to tell you in detail what programs are aligned with other certification that you can easily get those certifications and look good. The principal mentioning writing down your names with MSc at the end or MB at the end, but picture it with MBA and ACCA, MBA and FITT, MBA and IRM at the end of the program as well. So those are some of the things that we would mentor you on and show you how to capitalize. Thank you so much, Robin.
All right. Good evening, everyone. As Mr. Riley mentioned earlier on, our aim is to ensure that when graduates leave these programs, they are rounded, and not rounded in the sense that, okay, you have a master's, but really rounded in the fact that you have that master's certification and have all these tackable certifications aligned with them. Because if you decide to go out there, another country or somewhere, a master's is a master's, and that's good. But it's good to have this gravy with that delicious meal. And the gravy would be to have these professional certification that shows that you're not only capable, but you're very, very competent in other areas. And therefore, with our advice and guide, I will facilitate, and Mr. Riley will also facilitate the proper direction and guides for us to select the right certifications that you can actually complete along with your master's program, so you can actually be well-rounded. You have international certifications. I mainly specialize in international certifications as it relates to IT, ICT. So whether it be CompTIA, whether it be ISACA, Microsoft, Novell, Azure, any of those certifications, I can guide you in the pathway which are the best suitable ones to align with your or complement your master's program, so you can actually pilot yourself properly along the way whenever you complete your master's. Welcome you, and I know it's going to be an enjoyable journey, and we look forward to facilitating you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Riley and Mr. Rose. And as mentioned, the whole notion of stackable credentials, and that is very important, that the programs that are being offered are aligned to local and international certification outside of awarding you a master's degree or a postgraduate diploma. All right, I just want for you to listen to some of the comments from some of our current students about their own experience in the program. Okay, take a listen.
Excelsior Community College is an institution with rich history. Based upon how it was started, it is embedded in the community, and the way it has evolved into this massive college and progressing to become a university. It is only fitting that I be a part of this institution and be on the right side of history. This project management master's degree would impact my community in a big way, because over 30 years I've been working in the community. I'm working in various sectors across the island, coordinating projects and stuff like that. So this would only formalize what I've been doing for a number of years.
Currently, I'm a student here at Excelsior Community College, pursuing my master's. The best part of being a student here at Excelsior Community College, one, the fees are affordable, excellent payment plan, nurturing environment, and I think the infrastructure that they provide for us students is very good.
The reason why I selected Excelsior Community College to do my master's degree is because it's very cost effective, convenient, and flexible.
My experience of being a part of the master's program so far is the excellent team spirit. Our motto is no man left behind.
It was easy to pursue my master's degree because when I saw the opportunity, I was so happy because I was a past student of Excelsior Community College in bachelor's accounting. So I thought it was a great opportunity for me to be able to advance and to upgrade my qualification in accounting. Well, it's been fantastic because we are all family, because we both we share ideas. We have a platform on Facebook. We also have a platform on WhatsApp where we discuss and we try to discuss some topic that was given to us by the lecturer. So we try to enlighten ourselves and research further on some necessary topics regarding to business administration.
The reason I chose to do my master's degree at Excelsior Community College is because Excelsior has provided quality education at a reasonable cost. I want to use this master's degree to take on more leadership roles in these voluntary organizations that I'm a part of.
And I chose to
do my master's here because of my knowledge of the care of the lecturers and their expertise in delivering the subject matters. I will be using my master's in the future to formalize my present position as a professional in this area of procurement specialist, in which I'm led to manage several projects.
All right. So you hear it from current students. At this point in time, I am going to ask Ms. Shelley James Wright, are you there? I know she has been having some connectivity issues. I'm not sure if she is able to speak. Mrs. James Wright, able to speak? And if she's not able to speak, I will just briefly speak to the current costs for the program. Well, it is being depicted here. So for the MBA General, it is 1.3, a little bit over 1.3 million. For the specialization, it's the same cost. The MSc in Finance is a little less, but it's still over $1 million. And the MSc in MIS is 720,000, and the Postgraduate Diploma is a little bit over 100 or 300,000. But don't be scared about the cost, because we have what are called payment plans. And usually you go in and you speak to our financial advisors, Mr. Dwayne Riley, Sabrina Williams, or Shelley James Wright, and they will customize a plan for you that can ensure that you can pay for the program. And as it says here, this is also possible via salary deductions. And if you have any additional questions about tuition payment or payment plans, you can put your questions in the chat, or you can record the email addresses that are being depicted here. Some of the persons are actually a part of the session, and they also can put their additional contact details in the chat. So if you have any questions about tuition or payment plan, you can put it in the chat, or you can even go on the website, because additional information is there. All right, at this point in time, I'm going to turn over to the other vice principal to bring welcome, but also speak to our student support services. Mrs. Naomi Jacobs, are you there?
Yes, I am, Mr. Clark.
All
Good
right.
evening. Just allow me to share.
Yes, I will. Go ahead.
Okay, just a moment. Okay. Sure, you're seeing my screen now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, students and other persons who may be on our platform. This evening, I want to, as Vice Principal for Student Affairs, I take this opportunity to welcome you all to Excelsior Community College, and primarily to the School of Graduate Studies. I am also a graduate of Excelsior Community College, and therefore I can attest to the fact that you have not made a better choice, or there's no other better choice you could have made in having Excelsior Community College to be the institution of choice at this time to continue your studies. And so as you embark on your academic journey, the role of student affairs or student services is very important in your academic journey. The Student Affairs Division serves the purpose of supporting your academic journey as you go along. And I would want to say, if I should give this another caption, I would name this a course in how well you follow instructions. Because I realize that a lot of times when the students have challenges and difficulties that cause them not to be able to proceed or get them into some problem or the other, it is because they have not really followed the instructions that they were given or the guidelines that they were given. And so we don't want you to make that mistake as you go along, but we would rather, have you, as you go along the way, to follow the guidelines that we give you. And I cannot overemphasize the importance of communicating with us. I say communicate, 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 because as long as you are in touch with us, and as it was said before, we operate an open door policy, although it is COVID time, we are online, still use the different medium that we have, several media, for you to be able to communicate with us. And so, as Vice President for Student Affairs, I'm really in charge of the admissions and enrollment section, and you would have already at this stage gone through that area, registry, and that deals with your transcripts, registration, status letters, etc. We also have the student services unit, and we have the student social outreach and student engagement unit. So I have responsibility for those. But I just want to share with you this evening, just these few points that are very critical at this point in time. And at some later date, we can fill you in with more information that may be relevant as you go along. And before I move on to, I also, for the very new ones, I also want to introduce you to Excelsior, for you at least to know at this point that Excelsior means yet higher, right? And that's the name Excelsior. Our motto for Excelsior is Age Animo, do it with thy might. And that's what you are here to do in these 18 months. And your motto, the motto for the School of Graduate Studies is no one or no man is left behind. It is no man or no one is left behind. And so if you are able to follow the instructions and the guidelines, then I'm certain that you will not be left behind. You will get yet higher as you do it with your might. Now, the Student Support Services Division is here to assist you in your course selection. And all students, of course, you would have gotten by now an ID number, an identification number, and that is the number that you will use for all your correspondence, says to the college. It is a number that you use for your payment of fees, and you quote it on any document, even a simple letter that you may be writing to us. Please ensure your name is important, yes, but your ID number is what makes you different from another student, because there you might be surprised that we have had several students who share ID numbers with the same first name, middle name, and last name. So it's very important that you quote your ID number on the documentations. Now, when you would have created your email addresses or your email address for your program, and that is another thing that is very important. We communicate through the student email address. Yes, I understand your Gmail account, your Yahoo account, you are going to reserve those for, your personal or other purposes, but please ensure that you use the student email address. And of course, you know that it is usually your first name dot last name. So it will be, for example, naomi.jacobs@my.ecc.edu.jm. And the end of it usually is quite similar for all persons. Well, after the first name and the last name, you usually have 2 digits, right? So naomi.jacobs84@my.ecc.edu.jm. So please ensure that you follow those instructions in terms of your ID number, creating your email account, using your email address. Now you go to your course selection, and course selection is simply just what is stated here. And I tell my students about concept learning. You're actually going onto the student management system, Arion, and you are going to be choosing the courses based on your timetable. So you would have to get your timetable from the school that you are assigned to and the program that you're assigned to, and you select those courses based on the lecturers and the courses that you are scheduled to do within that semester. May I emphasize, course selection at this point is at no cost. So therefore, nobody should be left behind. In terms of course selection, we have had situations where at the end of a semester, well, not in the master's program, I have not had that experience, don't know if it exists, but it exists at the lower level, even at the bachelor's level, students would have completed a semester of classes and they have not selected courses, and they come at the last minute to ask the registry to assist them in the selection of courses. So as soon as you're given the go-ahead and you have been informed, your timetable is ready, and you are informed that the portal is opened for course selection, ensure that you go on and that you select your courses. There's no cost to it, but if you wait until it is too late, then usually we charge a late fee to get the office to assist you in selecting the course, because at that time you'll be asking somebody to take time out from what they're doing and to assist you to do that at that point. And we really don't want to do this. We know that at this time, the expense is enough and we don't want to create any more. So work with us. Registration. Notice there's a distinction between course selection and registration. So having selected your courses, for registration now, what you would have to do, you would have gotten academic advisement, academic clearance. That means your head of section would have given clearance for the courses that you are to do for the program you should be doing, and the courses, yes. And subsequent to that, you'd be required to set up your payment plan. Of course, you have, as you were just shown a while ago, different plans. And having selected your plan, then you would make your payment of your fees, whether in full or based on the plan that you have. That would constitute at that time, you're still not registered at that point. It is when you pass the payment stage. So some students will get to a certain, say, stage, step 3, and you realize that some students believe at that point they are registered. No, you're not. Having paid the fees, then the student finance officer will give clearance. And this is what you call financial clearance. So you're given academic clearance, payment of the fees, then you are given financial clearance, and haven't gotten financial clearance, then the student would consider himself, or the college would regard that person as a bona fide student. You are registered into the college. And let me again tell you that you do not register for exams, you register for your courses, you register for your program of studies. So persons who sit and wait until exam time, and it happens quite frequently, students wait until the time of exam to make their first payment. So you'll have students sit in class from the beginning to the end, and I would consider that somewhat a fault on our part, but because we are so lenient, sometimes that happens, but we really don't want that to happen, because at the end of the day, it causes so much anxiety and stress on you, the student, when you should be studying, you're busy running around trying to get registered. And of course, I say communicate, communicate, communicate. We work with students, we customize plans for you. Where you have a challenge, should you realize that you are not able to keep up with the plan, again, communicate. We work with you again and say, okay, let's try another time to see how we can work this through. Very important. Remember, what we are doing now is a course in how well you follow instructions. I drop. Now, a student, well, for your program is just 18 months, so you have to be very careful here. But generally speaking, a student is allowed to make a change, to drop a course or to add a course within the program of study. But of course, that must be done. Generally, it is done within 4 weeks of the start of the semester, not 4 weeks after you have begun your classes. It is when the semester starts, because some persons will come in 2 weeks after the program has started, and that is when they are checking the time. No, it is whatever point that the college starts a program, then we start counting week 1 from that. So whatever time that is stipulated by the graduate school for you to do the add drop, please ensure that you stick within that. And persons may have reasons why they want to drop a course. Is it that maybe you find at the time you may not be able to pay for that course, or is it that there's a prerequisite that you don't have? You would have had to have gotten an override if you were to continue with that. So please, and of course, for an add drop, it is something that you apply for. You have to submit an application, must be approved by your head of division, and therefore, having gone through that process, then that will determine whether or not it is approved or disapproved. All right, deferral. You may, yes, believe that you are ready to begin to start the program, but for some reason, whatever reason it is, could be medical, personal, insurmountable challenges that you might have, and the student might decide that, okay, I think I want to put this off for another time. And so therefore a student is allowed to defer, which is to put off your program of study. And therefore you have a time limit too within which to defer. You have, I think it has been the first, if I might just double check that for the deferral, within the, I think it's within the first before you start, before the start of it, you can write a letter to the registrar and ask for your study to be put off until perhaps the next semester, if that is allowable, or until the following year. Leave of absence. Of course, if you are going to be absent for any reason for a semester, we have 3 semesters within the 18 months. I want to believe that it is, whatever number it is. Please ensure that if you are going to be absent for a semester, that you apply for the leave of absence before. You can't apply for leave of absence having started the program. It is something that is prior to. So some students will finish a semester and come to us to say because they didn't pay the fees, then they want to apply for leave of absence. No, that would not be leave of absence. And you can get leave of absence for a semester, or for at least for a semester in the first instance. And the fact that is 18 months, and you have to be careful now for the other students, they usually get up to a year. Again, it has to be an application that you make. And therefore, because you make an application, then it has to be approved. So you do not get leave of absence automatically. Where the deferral, we really can't stop that, but the leave of absence, you have to get the approval for that. The medical leave, if a student is absent for 3 or more consecutive days from school, from classes, you should really bring in a medical certificate, or if you had to do some medical procedure or anything in that field, then please ensure that you submit your medical certificate or medical leave so that you can be accounted for during, or your absence can be accounted for. Official withdrawal. There are some persons who start the program, and we don't want this to happen to you, of course. But what should happen if you decide that you no longer want to be a part of the program? You should really write an official letter to state that you want to withdraw from the college or from the program. So if you are absent for more than 4 weeks within the program, after 4 weeks of the start of the program, or within the program, you are absent for 4 weeks, consecutive weeks, then you would have what is called an unauthorized withdrawal. And with an unauthorized withdrawal, it means that you have to start the process all over again. You have to do an application, you'd have to go do academic advisement, and the process starts over. So we don't want that to happen to you. If you're, for any reason, you are compelled to withdraw, please ensure that you follow the process. And again, you apply for that through the registry and have it approved by the Office of Graduate Studies. Now, for the fee payment, of course, you were told that you have payment plans. And there are some persons, again, who may start out for some reason, and they decide that they want to either defer, or they want to drop a course, or they no longer want to do the program. Now, there's a refund policy that is in place. And for after the first week of the start of the semester classes, not when you start, after the first week, the student normally gets back 90%. After the second week, you get 75%, or within, not after, within the first week, 90%, within the second week, 75%, within the third week, 50%, and after 3 weeks, the student does not get a refund. So that's a refund policy. And all of this information, you should get in writing so that you are not only hearing them, but you will be very much familiar with them and pay attention. And so remember, it is not when you start, but it's when the program officially started that the time starts to run. The registry also provides students.
Hi, Mrs. Jacobs.
Yes.
And check the chat for me for an important message.
Okay.
1 second, thanks.
All right, quickly. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so you may apply for requests for letters and transcripts through registry. You're also allowed to get course exemption for courses. And that again, you apply for that. Having gotten your ID number and paid your payment, each student gets an ID number and also an ID card, and that is given after you have made your payment. And Student Affairs also serves the purpose of fulfilling or carrying out any hearing for student misconduct, whether it be academic or otherwise. We have the counseling services unit that we have for persons, and the counseling services is not for persons, as some persons who say who have problems and issues. No, but we are here to give you the support that you need, the advisement that is needed, the psychosocial issues in order for you to be able to stay on course and to do your program of study. I'm telling you all of this at this point because I want you to be very well aware from this point. You may hear them again, but at least we would have briefed you on them. So at this point, but as I said before, we are very nurturing, we are accommodating, and therefore you have nothing to fear. As long as you work with us, then I am sure that you're on the path to success. And of course, there are other things that you will hear, and you'll get those at orientation. Thank you for making it Excelsior Community College, and we wish for you all the best in your academic journey. Have a good night.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Jacobs, for a very fulsome overview of the support services that are available to students. At this point in time, I just want to open the floor. If persons have questions, you can direct them to anybody, or I know that a lot of questions were asked in the chat, and members of the team have been responding to the questions. So if there are any other questions, you may ask the question, or if you don't want to speak, you can put it in the chat and I can read it aloud and we get an answer.
Mr. Clark?
Yes?
Dr. Beckford was here earlier and he had his hand up.
Oh.
So I don't know if you want to call on him if he wants to say something.
Dr. Beckford is?
Yeah, I'm still on. I prefer defer to the students first.
Okay.
It is their chance to give them a chance to ask, and then I can say what I have to say afterwards.
Yes.
But I will defer to them.
Okay, Doc. So one person just asked what times are the classes?
Classes are between the hours of 5 or 6 to 9. So sometimes 2 times per week, 2 days per week, sometimes 3 days per week. It depends on what semester you're in and the load that you're actually carrying.
Okay. Any other questions? Just checking the chat to see. I'm seeing persons. What postgraduate diploma programs do you have? I can bring that slide up, or Mrs. Jackson, if you have the information in front of you, you could actually respond. And
Okay,
either of the
so
two is okay.
yeah, you can bring it up still, Mr. Clark. We have postgraduate diplomas in project management, logistics management, human resource management, and banking and finance. And as I said earlier, they can ladder right into the master program, where after they have completed the postgraduate diploma, then they can upgrade it to the master program.
All right, that was another question. Let me just check to see if there are other questions. Weekends, do we offer classes on the weekends?
Not currently, but if we do have, and our weekends don't take Sunday into consideration, but if we have a group that wishes to do classes Friday, Saturday, then we can accommodate them because we are that flexible.
Okay, and a question is about the fees for the postgrad, and I know, Mrs. Jackson, that this fee might have been revised. I think it's now 376,907, if my recollection is correct, for the postgraduate diploma.
You are correct.
So it's 376,907, which is $376,907, and that came from Caleb Mays. Any other question? I'm not seeing any other question. And I see a comment from Dr. Akar Smith. All courses at this time are online, so they are scheduled mainly within the work week and not on the weekends, just reinforcing some of what was said earlier. I'm not seeing any other question. I'll just ask Dr. Beckford to comment or ask his question, and if there are other persons who want to ask questions, we can do so in the chat.
Yeah, this is just to follow up on the Dr. Howe, who spoke representing us, which he did, our lectures. He did very well. Just to add to it, that here at the master's level, you're expected to think. Critical thinking is very important. He did mention it, but I'm just emphasizing it. Also, the level of which we are teaching, you remember, is at a master's level, not at a bachelor's level. Hence, we require more from you, more interaction with you, more research from you, as we seek to navigate all the courses and to complete the MBA. As was mentioned by Dr. O and others, when you leave Exeter an MBA, people must know it's a well-earned MBA. So which is why sometimes students get miserable with us about the assessment and why it's so difficult and why I've gone so deep, because my thing is that you must be able to rub shoulder with any other MBA anywhere else. So we are going to touch on issues that are necessary and needed for you to graduate with a good and practical MBA. So like your public policy courses, people are saying, well, public policy, because I say that you're going out to work, not in a vacuum, but you are going to be in charge of a business, sometimes president or vice president, and you must know what's happening with respect to government policies and how those policies affect the business that you are operating. So so they were surprised that we look at things like transfer pricing and so on. Why transfer? I said, we need to know what's happening, because if you're in charge of a business, you need to know all the nomenclature, you need to know all the policies affecting your particular entity and any associated entity. How are taxes collected? How are taxes paid? Am I doing the right thing for my company? So those are just some of the things I just wanted to pull you into, that you are doing a well-respected MBA, and to come expecting to critically think and to be taught cutting-edge tools and technologies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Beckford. And I'm seeing where a question is asked about if classes are pre-recorded, and Dr. Malcolm responded that yes, the classes are pre-recorded and we usually upload them to our learning management system. Just another question, what time will classes start? Mrs. Jackson or Dr. Akar Smith, what time classes What's the usual start time?
5 o'clock or 6, and it goes up to 9. And the classes are between 12 to 15 weeks because we want to ensure that the students get the required hours.
Right.
One question though, Mr. Clark, that came through on the WhatsApp. Where is the office located? And I'm looking at the principal's screen and I'm seeing the Eureka Road campus right behind the principal there. So if you want to speak to this question, Mr. Clark, as to where will the School of Graduate Studies be located? It's right there on the screen, the principal's screen. That's his backdrop. Go ahead, Mr. Clark, please address this.
Yes, so if I'm seeing, let me just see Mr. McCarthy's screen, because of course, he's very much a marketer like all of us. So we are at Eureka Road, and it is our corporate campus. It is a very, very spacious environment. We are going to be, of course, mostly fully online, but of course, we also create what I call learning hubs or spaces for graduate students if you want to physically come in and, you know, access books or, you know, as a group sit down and study together. I remember when I was doing my master's, my friends and I would meet in the library or meet at what we call study commons, and we'd go through the material. If we have a group assignment, we meet and we try to collaborate and do things like that. So I'm sure everybody knows, well, let me not make the assumption. Eureka Road is on Half a Tree Road. It's when you leave Crossroads and you're going up as you pass KFC, and when you pass KFC on the left, that stoplight that is on the right, you can turn up that road if you're walking, or you can go on Old Hope Road, and as you pass the tax office, you take the left at the stoplight and go all the way down, and then it is the not the right turn. You go drive past that right turn. There's only one right turn on the right. You drive past that right turn, and then you'll see the building. Once you see it, you'll see your color. You'll see everything that is related to Excelsior. That is our corporate campus at Eureka Road. I'm also seeing something from somebody who is a part of the program, currently a part of the program, and there are a lot of conversations that are taking place in the chat. I just wanted to, IT Francis, and let me just let this person in. Great program so far. I'm a part of the inaugural group. I'm now able to apply my knowledge, especially to international views and what is happening in my country. Thank you very much for that, Miss Francis. And I see other persons who are responding to, yes, just sometimes the thing moves very slow. Come on, all right, you can provide your unofficial transcript. All right, so persons are responding in the chat to the various questions that are being asked. And Mrs. Jackson, I'm sure you, I don't remember if I'd shared it, but I'm sure you would have shared your WhatsApp number in the chat. By chance, were you able to do that? And yes, there was a question. I just remember there was a question about payment. And I was actually going through the slide just to bring up the point that we mentioned about, where did I put tuition? Right, so we have various payment plans, and if it is that you can, let me just go to share current slide, so you can even get some of the email addresses of these persons. Mrs. Jackson will also put her WhatsApp number in the chat, and you can reach out to these persons, Mrs. Jackson, via WhatsApp, as well as to the various persons who assist with, you know, customized payment plans. All right, I think we are up on the hour. I want to sincerely thank everyone for being here. Sincere thanks to our principals, to the deans, to our member of staff, all persons present, and I sincere thanks to our prospective students, and I'm almost sure some of you might have even registered already, for being a part of this session. I know we're down in terms of the numbers. We know we're 61 now, but at one point we had over 80 persons on the platform. So sincere thanks to you for coming. Mrs. Jackson has posted her number in the chat. It is 876-276-6901. I repeat, 876-276-6901. Sincere thanks to you again for being here, and have a very, very good night and rest of week. Mrs. Dr. B, you want to say hi? Just say hi.
Hi everyone, I'm from the team ODEC, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing a lot of you, all of you. I encourage you to think about the program and all the things you've heard, and we look forward to having you at ECC. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Budapati. All right, night everybody. Night, night.
Night, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Mr.
Good night,
Clark.
all. It was a
Yes.
pleasure.
Good night, everyone.
Blessings, and
Blessings.
please make the right decision. So good night.
Night, and night to all you students and prospective students. Have a wonderful semester.
Thank you.